Most people think spring is the best time to sell your house, and sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. After 20 years and literally thousands of transactions, here's the reality. There is no best time to sell. There is only the best time for you. Welcome to the Wilton Report. I'm Josh Wilton. I co-own and run the #1 boutique real estate company here in central New Jersey. And over my time, I've helped thousands of people buy and sell homes in this market, which has given me a front row seat to help you make smarter decisions. So by the end of this video, you'll know exactly when you sell, when you shouldn't, and what to do. So let's dive right in. Check it out. So timing a move as a seller isn't necessarily about the calendar. There are 5 key things to consider. It is not spring, summer, or fall, or some mystery season. The #1 thing that matters, right, when you're selling your house, other than your timing, is your house. Number 2 is the employment conditions in the market that you're selling out of. Meaning, if you're buying in Florida, right, it's a better time to be a buyer than a seller in a lot of the state of Florida. In New Jersey, it happens to be opposite. Number 3, inventory, your competition. Are there a lot of houses for sale, or are you the only game in town? Number 4, obviously seasonality, spring, summer, fall does matter, and we'll talk about that. And the 5th is your personal situation, what's going on in your life, what's having you move, et cetera, et cetera. So factor number 1, let's talk about it. The biggest factor in selling your house, other than your schedule, is the house. And please write the following statement down. You should never rush to put your house on the market, ever. Ever. You should have a plan in place. The more you can plan and execute on a plan, the more money you make when you sell, the faster you sell, the better terms you get, the less stressful it is. And it is a rather stressful thing, right? So when you're selling your house, there's 9 data points that really determine the overall value of a house. Schools are another, right? The town is another. But in each town, there's 9 points of data we can look at that matters. The condition of your house, right? The overall condition of your house, the presentability of your house will determine market value, period, full stop. So let's just put a quick 5-6 step plan together to help you understand what you have to do with your house. So a couple weeks ago, I interviewed John Walsh of Walsh Senior Solutions, and I'll tag that video with this one. And he had a great idea. He said, look, the first thing you should do when you're selling your house is empty your garage. Get rid of everything in your garage you don't need and use that as a staging area. Step 2, red tag, green tag. Red tag, you're not taking it with you. You don't want it. Kids are grown. It's kid stuff. You're moving on. It's old furniture, whatever. Red tag it. The green tag stuff, obviously, you're going to key. So the red tag items start to get moved to the garage, and it can be in sequences. It can be in stages. It doesn't have to all happen at once. And then you can arrange for donations, right? You can arrange for people to pick it up. You can have that garage sale. You can have the free day where people just come and take stuff literally right out of your garage. So having that plan in place to start getting stuff out of your house is key. Step 4, update your house. So what do I mean by that? You bought a house 25 years ago, right? And the kitchen was new when you bought it. It's not a new kitchen anymore. It probably needs paint. The lights need to be changed. So start making the inexpensive modifications to your house. If your house is a little dated, meaning it's a little older, and you have the bathroom lights from when you bought the house 25, 30 years ago, call a handyman, call Princeton Property Works to change those lights out. Start making small cosmetic, and I would say inarguably small, inexpensive cosmetic changes to your house in the time that you have. It doesn't have to happen at once. You can take a room at a time. You can hire a stager, you can have an overall plan, or you can just look at your house critically and say, okay, let's pretend I'm a buyer. What would I want to see, right? So step 4 is make those inexpensive updates to your house. Step 5, plan your move. If you're downsizing and you're in a 3,000 square foot house, so you go into a 1,500 square foot house, well, you got to plan that, right? You got to know what you're bringing, what you're not. So have a plan, think it through, look at it, et cetera, et cetera. So the biggest factor in selling your house is the house. And the more you prep and plan to make it presentable, the more money you make and the faster you're going to sell with better terms, less stress. Factor number two I like to look at is overall employment conditions, right? When people are confident in their jobs, they're more confident to buy a house. So it's not necessarily just prices or interest rates that drive market momentum. I've always said it's the jobs. So again, job growth, buyer demand, migration patterns. So Mercer County, right? The 2026 forecast for Mercer County is growth, right? We're going to have continued employment growth. Over 25% of the Mercer County businesses plan to hire in 2026. Unemployment, you want to keep an eye on it, right? Right now, in early 2026, it's 4.5%. So just keep an eye on it. If people are confident, people will buy. So just kind of keep your thumb on the overall economy and look at it. If things are good, you're going to have a great time selling your house. If things are a little unsettled, right, you have to make adjustments on your end, maybe in terms of price and how you bring it to the market. So factor number two, jobs. It is the biggest indicator of real estate forecasts, period. People are confident, people buy, people want to move and start their own lives. Factor number three, inventory. And this is an interesting one because we've been since COVID in a very low inventory cycle in the Northeast. There are other parts of the country where there is ample inventory and price reductions and HOA issues and insurance issues. New Jersey is not one of them. However, there are inventory pockets. So in West Windsor, there's townhouses being built, right? In 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐶, there's single family homes being built and townhouses being built. Princeton has some condos coming. They call them stacked townhouses. I think we call them condos in the real world on the north end of the shopping center. Will the influx in inventory there, will that diminish the value of a condo at Markham? Depends. Usually when there's new construction, right, in that market segment, West Windsor townhouses, the overall pricing structure softens. You won't see the same appreciation. You won't see the same demand because buyers have choice. So you want to kind of keep an eye on inventory in your local market. In the outer market, so Princeton is 40% cash. Hamilton has less cash buyers. So as rates fluctuate, Hamilton inventory tends to freeze, drop, et cetera, because it's a more rate sensitive market. So rates just shot up. So if all of a sudden you're thinking of putting your house on the market and there's now 4 houses for sale on your block, well, that's an issue because now buyers have choice. So keep an eye on the local inventory patterns, keep an eye on what's happening with jobs, keep an eye on what's coming in new construction in your market. How do you do that? Just go to Google, set up an alert for your town. Number 4, right? Seasonality. Here's the reality. More people move in the spring. Why? Well, schools end and they're starting a new school in the fall, right? They ended their job in January and they're starting a new job. But the biggest reason people move, other than jobs, in my opinion, is kids, right? So people are moving in for the schools, elementary school in West Windsor, elementary school in 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐿, high school in Ewing. It doesn't matter. People move in the spring because of kids. So more houses definitively come on the market in spring. Houses look better in the spring. The yards get cleaned up. The mulch gets put in. Pools get open. So things are looking better. And so if you're sitting there listening to this and you think, well, I can't really sell until February, that's fine. Prep your house. Give me a call. We'll send our photographer out to your house. We'll shoot it this spring, summer, and fall. So you have that look, even in February, of a really polished, beautiful house in the spring. So if you're planning a winter move, plan. Just plan. Plan ahead. Prep your yard. Hire us. We'll get our photographer out there. We'll do spring, summer, fall shoots. We'll have our choice in the winter of what your house looks like. The pool will be open even though it's February, and the photos will look great. So seasonality matters. People do move more in the spring. More houses come on in the spring. But with planning and precision, you will not have a hard time selling in the fall or the early spring, winter, because you had a plan in place and you executed an excellent plan. So seasonality matters, but planning matters more. Factor 5, and I'd say arguably, other than the condition of your house, and they're obviously directly related, your personal situation. Please don't rush to put your house on the market. Never rush. Never try to catch the market. We were talking to a seller, got a lot of stuff in his house. He's in the middle of a move. He wants to hit the spring market. He's in a rush. And I had to sort of talk him out of it and say, look, if we put your house on now, based on what's in it, right, because he hasn't gotten this stuff out, you'll make 10 to 20% less than if you move and we prep it. So don't rush, don't stress. Whenever you're ready to sell, that is the perfect time, right? That is the perfect time. So when you're ready to sell, we'll do an inventory assessment, we'll do a jobs assessment, we'll do a market assessment, we'll look at the absorption rate. We will have a plan in place for you to perfect your house when you bring it to the market, right? But the perfect time for you, you'll know it. Like, don't stress and don't overshoot the market because it'll just cost you money, stress, and time. So for a seller, your perfect time is your perfect time. So just plan ahead, right? That's the biggest advice I can give you. The main takeaway from when you sell your house isn't when the market is perfect. The market is never perfect. I've been doing this for over 20 years. I've seen markets where there's no inventory. I've seen markets where there is inventory. I've seen markets with low buyer demand. I've seen markets with high buyer demand. And they all obviously impact how you sell your house. But the best time isn't to sell when the market's perfect. It's when your strategy is perfect, when your plan is perfect. So if you're thinking about selling, reach out, right? Use the contact information in our description. You can always text me at 609-773-8054, and we will help you figure out what makes sense for you. We will help if you're in a rush. How do we do it quickly? If you're not in a rush, how do we execute a plan and introduce you to the right people, contractors, subcontractors to get your house ready? And as always, if you haven't, hit subscribe, and we will look forward to your comments below as to what you want to see next. I'm Josh Wilton. This is the Wilton Report, and I'll see you next time.